Welcome back, everyone, to the off. Ooh, hang on. Takes a while for the things to load in. There we go. Welcome back, everyone, to the Off Rift podcast. I'm Mercury. I'm joined by Vestion and Kevin. Episode number 10. Double digits, if you can believe. Made it here. I'm super excited to get into things. As always, please follow, subscribe, and check out the podcast on all the platforms. It really helps us out. And submit your questions towards the answering machine, and we'll answer them if we have time. But to start things off, week 3 is done and dusted. We're halfway towards playoffs already. We had some interesting things to start the week off, and of course, the CFO roster changes came on through. So I guess we can start off with that series since Kevin's here. What did you think?
I thought game one was kind of bad, but I thought game two and three were a lot better. Obviously, like at that point, we were only scoring for like about a week, so it was like a brand new, like kind of like a brand new roster, I guess, because two players changed. And DCC, I still think it's a really strong team. I think they had a really tough schedule, and MVK is really strong. A lot stronger than were split one at least. So I am pretty happy with our performance. I think it'll get better and better. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree, I think. I think, like, you're not expected to win against DCG. And so, like, even taking them to 3 games with bringing in 2 new players, and especially with how, like, Pout in particular performed, I think you can be pretty happy with sort of the signs of what can be, possible for this roster.
I mean, I just think our expectations were kind of bad or low, right? With like
Hmm.
SHG, perfect game. DFM was like game one was really rough. Like game two and three were a lot better, right? But I mean, I still think overall that series is pretty like bad. But the DCG one, like yeah, there are bad moments, but I think our overall macro was a lot better. We were playing team fights better, setting up for objectives a lot better.
Yep.
So if we just like obviously if the trajectory keeps going up, things will be positive. So that's what I'm hoping for. And like judging from game one, two, and three, I thought it was a good start for this roster.
Yeah, you guys especially in the solo lane, Lauren was looking shaky after all that you guys were throwing at him in those lanes. It was a rough start from DCG, all things considered, and then Doggo kind of sprinted it around the dragon and through that sort of lead. But overall, I'm pretty happy with what we've seen from Kino and from Pout so far. Obviously, you probably know more than us. What's the situation in the mid lane? Able to tell, obviously. Will Pangyon still be playing, or
I mean, the current plan is to have both. Like obviously, Pout and Pongyun are two different kinds of players. So the plan isn't to like be like, oh, one is better than the other. It's like which one is better for CFO given any week. I don't know if we'll do like what we did in the past with like rest and driver. But it just depends on how those two perform in scrims. Like the sharing scrim time, they're like practicing because like Pongyun needs to like keep practicing as a Mandarin, and Pout is helping him with that. Pongyun is pretty good individually, but maybe as a team player needs to work on that. So there's a lot of things that like everyone can work on and improve on, and they are helping each other get better. So for now, it should be a 2-man or 6-man roster.
good to hear. Especially given Pangyon's had some good moments over the course of this so far. So I'm excited to get into that. As we look towards that second match of the game, it could have been a bit of an email. I'm going to be honest, because MVK kind of wiped the floor with DFM. There was obviously that Cassante mid that they flexed in towards the Annie. They got a bit of a free lane, all things considered, and Chica's looking pretty strong.
Yeah. No, I mean, MVK looking good. They're looking really solid. Definitely appearing like a top 4 team at the moment, I'd say. And so I think, with what they've done to switch up the roster, it's obviously paying off for them pretty well.
What do you make of I think you guys playing them next week, right? You're playing MVK next week. What do you think of obviously all the rookies that will be in that match? Like rookies slash
Um,
newcomers.
I mean, my favorite players on MVK right now are Harky and Sulong, and I mean, I always say like it's kind of weird because I always thought Harky was pretty bad in when he played in Tier 2 in VCS. Because when I watched VCS and MVK Academy, I always thought like I guess Callie and the support there is the weakest link, but so Harky was also I thought was pretty bad. But when he's playing in the LCP with Sulong, like they seem to be much better. Like they're the two most consistent, like best players on the team. Like Chica has good moments, bad moments. So does Guri. Stella Kratos, I'm not too sure what's going on there, but their balling is solid. So I think that it'll come down to his balling's more stable because I do think Doggo and Kino are also very good. So yeah, I just think Chica's kind of like flippy at times.
I think that's. And then heading into our second, we had Team Sick Wales taking down Hawks. That was a bit of a weird one because Eddie was looking pretty rough overall, but the power of Renata sort of helped them over the edge.
Yeah, I mean that honestly, SHG should have won this series. I think ultimately, I think in game two it was that SHG were in a position where they should have been able to close out the game, but weren't able to do so. They were quite far ahead, but unfortunately, when it came to things like the competing around objectives, that's where Team Secret Wales thrive, and they were able to win out on those engagements a lot of the time through whether it was like good engagements from Dyer, where he'd pretty much go and sacrifice himself, but find like multiple people lockdowns, or completely zone out Marble from a team fight or whatever it may be. Um, I think ultimately, had the skirmishes been played better by SHG, they should have won that series. They're in a position they could have won that series, but unfortunately, they just sort of tripped over at the finish line. And then game three happened, and it was kind of okay. Well, Team Secret Wales are probably going to win this now.
I was really impressed by Arya. Arya, I think, has been playing phenomenal like this past
Yeah,
like split.
for sure.
What score on that Ari game? I forgot, but you look pretty solid, like you mentioned, of the entirety of the split so far. I mean, now it starts to get into the possibility of, is Hawks the second best team in the region? You know, we've had a decent enough sample size by now. They're taking Team Secret Wales to the very edge of that series. And is there a chance that we could see them at MSI?
I mean, with
Yeah.
the way the point system works, like there's always a chance we'll see them. Cause yeah, you don't even have to be the champions to go as long as you have enough champion points. So in theory, you could be like the third best team and still go to MSI.
Mm-hmm.
And they did
Yeah.
well last split, so they should have enough champion points to push them into that category.
Yeah,
What's the
I think I still think DCG is second, and the only reason I say that is because I have to somewhat give credit to consistency, right? Like they yes they lost the week one series against MVK, but it's like you're coming back off a break, you're not really certain exactly how MVK play, and like okay, I can forgive like tripping up in that one series, but I think I still have to look at the consistency over the course of the two splits, and they have been clearly our second best team, and I think it's too rough to take that away from them just yet. But SHG is certainly in the conversation, undoubtedly.
Yeah, I think DCG is still really really strong. I don't see why they wouldn't be the second best team, or at least up there with Secret Wales.
I
I
do
haven't really
think.
seen enough
Oh,
from
sorry.
SoftBank to say that they would be better than DCG.
I do think as this year continues down, like if we get through the year more and more, that DCG do continue to lose like their biggest asset of time played together. I think that is the one thing that they have over absolutely every team in this composition. That as this year continues to progress, they lose that edge because obviously they played all of last year together, right? And now
Yeah.
we're what is it like 5 months in almost into the year. It's like okay, these teams have now had a reasonable amount of time to get themselves the same level ish of coordination as DCG were able to form over the past year, and so I think they do begin to lose that edge that they had. So I think like by split three, I wouldn't be surprised to see them sort of drop further in the standings than they are now. But I think for now they still do get to retain it.
guys make of Gar so far as we head into the last series of that week? Speaking of like teams, obviously
Mhm.
gaming and all that, and their road to perhaps second best. Garm 2-0'd GZ. It was a bit of a fever dream, I will say, because we were all of us plus Ness were quad casting, if you will, that entire time, and that was an interesting situation. But GZ had so many chances to come back, and it just felt it felt so. I don't even know what the word was, but like the hope was just gone after every one of those smites that kept on missing.
To be honest, you can honestly, it can just be said that we suck. Like I'm going to be honest. Like we have Yijung that is really good, and he's consistently winning his lane. He's consistently ahead, so we don't have to worry about top in any of our games ever. Every single game, top is fine. We do not have a carry outside of that, and top lane's not a carry role. And so just fundamentally, our team as a concept, it feels suck. And so it's like sometimes we reverse just players we're better than, right? Like if we're against DFM, generally our players are just better. So we do win those series. I think also, like Yijang has a standout game, then he can carry a game. Occasionally you get Jimmy and Zanivia performances that have won us games. But like in general, we go up against any team that has a strong AD carry player or a strong mid lane carry player like Arya, for example, we're probably just going to lose. And that is kind of what we're seeing here. And like the games are now coming down to can Husha land smites, and he's also not been doing that. Like we've lost something like 8 smite fights in a row. So like not only are we not performing in our individual lanes, we're also losing the objective fights. And it's like, okay, maybe Yijang can somehow save us, and then he'll make a mistake. Like I remember against SHG not ulting the Orianna who had no flash. It's like, well, like fuck, man, like now this fight's just lost, and it's like that's pretty much the game. And the same thing kind of happened in our most recent game, right? He was the Rumble and he was really, really fed, and he dies at a dragon fight without using Rumble ult. It's like, well, fuck, we've lost, It's like everything is relying on Yijang and Husha to do so much on the map, and we don't have anyone that can back them up. Like it's like, okay, sweet, Yijang's got us through the first 25 minutes of this game. We're like in a maybe slightly behind, but we're in a reasonable position. Now our AD carry or our mid laner can come online and really carry this game. But we don't have a player that does that.
Yeah, I mean, Ground Zero, top jungle is really strong, but Jimmy and Shin, Orca all have like different issues. And the problem is that like the issues kind of like are the same. So there's no one that's like covering their weaknesses or strengths, or like, using their strengths to cover each other's weaknesses. It's like they're all like passive, they just chill in lane. They don't really do too much. And then Husha has to do everything on the map to try to get advantages. And obviously against like bad worse teams like DFM, who's a little bit less coordinated because of like the triple language thing, they'll do well. But against like a much more coordinated team, it kind of looks like that. Like Gam is not. I don't think Gam is that strong. I think it's just that Ground Zero is just struggling to find their identity that can win. Whereas like Gam has like banding fixes. Give Kiaya whatever he wants. Let Drakthar try to do his stuff, and Draktar's been playing a lot better in my opinion around Aris and playing with Taki. Whereas I feel like Husha hasn't really improved that much with like Jimmy and Orca.
Yeah, and Drakthar, I think importantly, has started to find like the Levy coded champs, which it seems like just conceptually Garm work well with. Like the Shyvana, for example, the Nocturne. It's like those are what you associate with Levy. And now he's using them, and he's using them well. So it's like, okay, maybe just Garm as like an organization almost really can resonate with those sort of ways of playing the jungle, and it works out well for them. Maybe it's Kiaya. Maybe Kiaya is able to play his style of League of Legends better around a carry jungler. I'm not sure, but like that is what it's kind of feeling like, because Drakthar's looked good this split so far. I think like he's looked very, very solid. He started off split 1 looking good, and then really like very quickly was not looking good, and now he's been pretty consistently looking good.
Yeah, I agree.
9-2-9 on that Nocturne game. Who's on the other side 3. Obviously, Chun, like we mentioned before, didn't get a single kill on that Corki game, although that wasn't entirely his fault. Obviously, Orca ended up accidentally taking a few of those. So it was a little bit of a rough situation.
I mean, it was just a shit jungle fight at level 3, really. Like at that point, the game just exploded. It was like,
just in the river, and they just decide to fight for some. I don't even know why. There was nothing really to fight.
I think it's like,
it was that blue buff, right?
It was the blue buff. I think it's correct to fight. They just didn't like there was this weird thing where Jimmy's walking there and then walks back, and then Shun's walked the long way round, and so somehow, despite having first move to the play, it was our AD carry that got their second and our mid laner that got their second. And so like Husha just died, and then it's just a 3v4, and then everyone died. So it's like, oh well, I guess we just lost. It's like it seems uncoordinated. It seems very uncoordinated and messy.
Where do you think they go from here? That's the biggest question. Obviously, seeing the drafts begin to improve. We're putting Yijang, I mean, over the course of this series, looked solid, and he was on carries both those games away from the tanks. He was able to make things happen. Obviously, Jimmy and on the Ahri looked solid in that first game, but
that's a lie. His scoreline looked fine, but he couldn't land a fucking skill shot. Yeah, but you can't like call his Ahri fine when the most important ability is being missed every time he uses it.
True. Okay, I apologize. He was looking good, other than like his fundamental like.
It looked bad. You can just say his score was fine, but he looked bad.
I just want to say it because Bo sometimes listens in, and No,
Yeah, but like,
that's
there's no point lying about it.
yeah.
Like, it just is what it is, man. It just like it's observable that like he used his charm like a second and a half early on a GA. It's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Like,
Yeah,
actually,
that was a weird one. Yeah, Drakthar was down. That was near the river as well. I think, right? That was
yeah, it was by the bottom mid bush.
yeah,
But like, it's just these are things that like maybe it's just like his confidence is absolutely shot. Because I remember, and Kevin will remember too, in the PCS he was performing much better than he's performed in the LCP. And it's not even necessarily just like, okay, the players he's versing are better, because he'd be playing a lot better against Maple, who, you know, Maple, if he was still like, if he was at the form he was in 2024, for example, when he played in the LCP, would be one of the best mid laners in the league. Like, maybe the best mid laner in the league. And Jimmian was doing perfectly fine against Maple. So it's like, okay, then what the fuck's happened? You know, like, what has actually happened to cause this? Because it feels like it has to be a confidence thing. Like, he's just not
Yeah.
able to play how he used to. Because, I mean, like, a year on the Chiefs, unironically, like, they lost every single series. That can't do well for yourself and your self-esteem as a player. So, you know, and even now on GZ, as soon as you start losing again, it's like, it's probably going to have major impact on your mentality. So I think that's an issue that maybe, and this is maybe too much psychoanalyzing, but like, it is observable how much worse he plays now comparative to like 2023, 2024.
I mean, like, I only know Jimmy for like the 1 year on CFO, right? But in my opinion, I just felt like 2023, like, he had a lot of issues, like being confident, being aggressive. Like, that was the main issue, because like, Gemini was like a kind of a passive jungler who
He
help.
was.
He would help mid lane. Like, when he was playing this mission would be like, help me win. Gemini would say yes. But with Jimmy wouldn't say anything. Jimmy would be like, can I help you? And Gemini would be like, no, no, let me help you. And then that caused issues. But then when he went to like FAK, I thought he played much better. And he was able to like, play. Like, I felt like
Lucian,
Skywalk was able to
Corki.
unlock his like full potential. And I thought 2024 was his best year. But coming into 2025, from what I've heard, like, obviously English is a second language. His English is not bad, but it's like being able to focus is like, okay, I have to press E, win, do this, do that, and also think in a second language was really difficult for him. And the constant rotation of junglers also kind of fucked with his head.
Mhm.
So I thought, okay, fine, 2025 or 2025 on Chiefs was bad. I thought 2026 would be better, but he hasn't really improved that much from
He has
2025.
he has definitely improved in the sense he's actually had games that he's carried. I will say, like, that didn't
Yeah.
happen last year.
But I was
So there
expecting
are,
he'd be like returned to form, like, he'd
hmm,
do like FAK Jimmy, and like, it's
I
still a little
agree.
bit of like Chiefs is it in there. Like, he's still got that little bit of like Aussie in them, which he
Yeah,
needs to get rid of. He needs to speak less English and speak more Mandarin. Like, the more Chinese he speaks, the
yeah,
better he plays. This is how it is. He just needs to stop speaking English. So
I agree.
once he
And then
does
and
that,
then
I think he'll be better. Because I don't think he's bad. Like,
no.
historically speaking, like, I think he's had a lot of good years and good moments. Just the last year was so bad as a team and individually had a lot of bad moments that it just like kind of sticks with you, that he has to just like let that go and just be like, just play with Kusha. Let, like, be Gemini, be like, be the Jimian to like Kusha as Gemini was to Mission, and I think that team would do much better.
Yeah, I think the funny thing is, like, what you say about 2023 and how you wanted to help Gemini is exactly all you'd probably need to do here with a player like Husha. Because like,
Yeah.
Husha wants to do stuff, like, you can see him constantly looking to do things proactively. But like, maybe part of it's like pull, I'm not sure, but like, it is clearly bad. And then like, as for our other AD carry like Shun, he's just never had that dog in him. Again, I'll go back to the PCS. The whole time during the PCS, it was like, okay, Shun's like one of the better AD carries, but you still could not put him on the same tier as someone like Betty or
Doggo.
Wako, and then like, like Doggo as well, but Doggo wasn't in the PCS. Even Fung, I think most of the time would outperform Shun as an individual. Maybe not as like a team player, but as an individual, I think he would outshine Shun a lot of the times. And so it's like, I've said this like too many times now, but Shun's never going to lose you the game. And he consistently does not lose you the game, but he's also just not the kind of AD carry to win you the game when there are a lot of those types of AD carries in the LCP. I mean, pretty much all the top teams have them, right? Like, Doggo can win you a game, although I guess CFO not quite a top team anymore, but like, still, as an individual, Doggo's a top player. You got Artemis can win you a game, Eddie can win you a game. You pretty much go down all the top teams. Marble, even, especially now, has looked like, yeah, he can win you the game. And it's like Shun doesn't have that in him, and that's not necessarily always a bad thing. I think it's only a bad thing when it's also paired with a mid laner who won't win you the game most of the time.
And it's weird as well because like Shun was playing a lot of these champions like last year, popping off on the Ezreal. Obviously, a pick that has mixed feelings on this podcast, but he was 88% win rate on it. I say he was popping off Ash.
Yeah. But this is PCS. It's so irrelevant because you're just versing so much worse players.
But even then,
Like,
it was up against DCG.
Yeah,
that he was playing
to be
against.
fair, he also played in Asia Masters where he was playing against Korean teams.
That's true, but like I just think you can't look at these stats and compare them because like you're against literal like random college students that just put together a team. You're not really able to justify like, okay, he looked good in the PCS when the only other real competition in the entire tournament was DCG, and so like he's 88% win rate, but probably the 12% he lost was against DCG. So it's like, and that's that's the people you're supposed to be trying to play against now. So the stats against the lot, like it's like Honkyu. Honkyu just wouldn't lose in the what is it, PCL? He didn't lose here in the LCP, and he goes over to the LPL, and now he's losing. It's like, okay, you can't really compare that. They're just different beasts.
Fair enough. I wonder, how do you see them actually making a comeback and like a playoffs at this? Because obviously there's some of these changes coming in that we can talk about in a little bit with the meta that's going to be taken up next match, but overall it's looking like you mentioned, never really going to win you the game. So many of these other AD carries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's just like people just have a way they play League. Like everyone has a stylistic way they play League. They have a stylistic way they've climbed. Like I mean, if I compared myself in like solo queue, for example, I'm much more like Shun. Like I'm never going to be the kind of player that wins you the game, but I'm also like trying to not be the player that loses you the game. I'm trying to pick something that helps the team and allows them to succeed, and that's very much how I view Shun most of the time. I think there are some champs that's different for. Like I think his Lucian is something that can carry you the game, but like Lucian is just
win rate on Lucian as far as I remember.
Yeah, but
lost
it's
on
just
Lucian historically.
Yeah, Lucian's really good, but the problem with Lucian is you can't pick him every game. Like Lucian is a champ that is quite hard to play against certain matchups, and also there's Fearless. So even if you get a good matchup twice in a row, you're only going to be able to pick it one of those times. So it's like, yeah, I mean, Shun, he has certain champs I think he can carry the game on, but it's just like few and far between. But again, this is not like a slant on his ability. It's just like it just doesn't work for ground zero in the current sort of scheme of what the team looks like.
I just looked it up. He has in his career he has 100% win rate on Draven.
Damn.
His Lucian's down 85%. He's lost
Okay.
like 3 games on it, but
yeah,
it's still like really. He's played 20 games on Lucian. He's won like 85. That's crazy.
Like surely
that is
like,
insane.
Surely if
I
you
think
are
he can be an aggressive player.
Yeah, if you're Skywalk, if you are this team, surely you just unleash him. Right? Proven that he has this proficiency. Sure, we can argue the position in the PS, but it's still that proficiency that in that competitive environment that will be be able to help him out. Surely something that we.
Yeah, I just think it's hard, man. Like you can't just randomly be like, "Oh, I'm picking Draven." You can't because like
can't.
AD carries that are better than you can't pick Draven against them because you have to beat them in lane. You have to win. So if you don't win, you've got just an absolute newt AD carry for the rest of the game, pretty much, right? And that's an issue we saw at Worlds. Doggo's the only person that even won on Draven, and it was like, okay, it's because they stomped their lane, and then Draven got so fed they couldn't do anything about it. Other teams, even like some of the big teams, I believe, like Gen G even picked it and lost, I think, from memory, or maybe it was Viper. Someone anyway, one of those two. It was either Ruler or Viper picked Draven and they lost on it. And it's like, well, they didn't win lane, so they lost. And that's just the nature of it. So like, especially now where enchanters are a thing, it's even harder to pick Draven because you're not against these engaged supports anymore. You're against ranged supports, and so it's a lot harder to actually play AD carry in those matchups. And it's harder to get kills in those matchups in general too, because you don't just have two meatballs throwing hooks at each other the whole game. It's like engages happen less. So like maybe you could argue you can zone more, but every AD carry being picked is pretty much long range, has some way to farm from range. So it's not really viable to just be like, okay, we're locking in Draven for fun. And the same can be said for Lucian. It's like, okay, if you're playing Lucian, you kind of need Nami or Braum, and maybe at a very stretch Melio. But like, even then, it's like, okay, but then what? Like, what are they going to pick? Because they can pick stuff that counter that, you know. So it's really, really hard. Because like, if you're Lucian and you've picked Braum and they pick like something like Corki Nami, you're just fucked. You've just lost. You know, like you don't have the same amount of damage. It's like, okay, what if you take the Nami? There's still things they can answer that with. You know, like the Seraphine Ashe, for example, is like pretty hard to play as Lucian Nami.
Yeah, I mean, like, but like some of his better AD carries are just like not meta right now. Like we don't see really Kaisa, Zaya. Like we see like Ezreal, but it's not really the same champ as it was in the past. Or Varus. Like his Varus is not good, but I don't like his poke Varus. Or like I think his Aphelios is good, but
I do
again,
too.
it's like not a champion that you see too often, right?
It's
You're
like a
seeing a lot
third
of like
game, fourth game.
yeah,
Yeah.
like the champions he's gonna have to play is like Ashe, Ezreal, Jhin, Sever, you know, Varus, I guess. Like these are the kind of champions that are going to be picked in game 1 and 2 because we're only playing BO3, right? And it's also fearless.
Yunara as well.
So like there could be a situation where it's like, oh wait, you know, we could pick Lucian here, but like maybe Emilio, Lulu, or Nami, Braum are all gone. It's like, oh, we can't play any of the champions that are good with Lucian, so now Lucian's gone from the like the table. It's like it's a lot more complicated. Like you just can't go to like the Skywalk and be like, hey, he has 100% win rate on Draven, just pick it. It's like it doesn't really work like that. You have to try to figure out like how to like put draft resources into Shun without hurting your other carries like Ejong and Husha. And like usually
Yep.
bot lanes are picked together, so that's why it makes it really difficult. Like what if you pick
And
jungle, AD support? Then like what if Ejong just gets fucked over, right? Like what if he
yeah,
gets like
exactly.
then you lose like a win condition. It's like okay then like what if we pick just like top jungle ADs? Like well that doesn't really work too often because support and AD are so like combined together that you can't pick like you can't you some AD carries you can get away with, right? But most of the time you want your bot lane duo together. Like if you're picking Ezreal, you want like Nico Karma. You don't want to just be like, oh, I guess Lulu Ezreal can work. It's like it doesn't. So
Yeah.
it's a lot more complicated when you have like these positions that like top and bot are your like main threats. Usually you want mid plus top or bot. But having top and bot being your main threats and jungle as well is like that really makes the draft a lot more complicated, a lot harder.
A lot of so I guess like to answer the question, like, because obviously there was a bit of not a rant necessarily, but like where in like a sentence or so, where do we see like I don't know, it's getting dicey in the approach towards
Yeah,
playoffs.
I mean, like, to be blunt, I think this week is a write-off, right? We're against Team Secret Wales. It's like, it's whatever. We've lost. But then,
this
like,
week, yeah.
this week's Team Secret Wales. But then going forward from that, who do we even have left? It's like, there's CFO, which is like, I don't know who's going to win that. I think we haven't
Got a
seen enough of
DFM game, come
CFO
on.
yet. No, we already beat
Oh
DFM,
yeah,
so we
yeah,
don't have
did, yeah.
DFM. We have
It's
MVK.
MVK, CFO, DC.
Yeah, so, okay, we probably lose DCG, but we beat DCG last split, so I guess it's not out of the question, because DCG are they're a little bit funny sometimes when they play League of Legends. They're not the most sturdy in terms of how they play. So like that's winnable, but like and so is Vikings. I think like it's still not 100% clear just how good they are, but we've seen their ceiling can be really high. But Vikings again at the start of the split are always very, very different from the end of the split. So because we've got them near the end, I think that's like, somewhat of a relief, probably, just historically speaking. And then CFO, as I said, I don't really know how strong CFO is yet. I think it's too hard to judge. It's too early. They could be a lot better. They could be the same. They could be worse, but it's not likely to be worse, to be honest. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I think like go into this week and just like if we win, bro, that's like crazy. Like hell yeah. But I'm not expecting it. But the rest of the matches are all perfectly winnable. So you just go in, you try your best, make playoffs, and then like hope for a miracle run essentially. But like I don't think you're swapping up anything in terms of like roster swaps or anything because I don't think things are that bad that you have to do that. Because like a lot of our games we're losing are like very, very close. We're one smite fight away from winning against SHG in game 2. Any of those smites go our way, we win. So I don't think things are that bad. I just think things are very difficult in just the stylistic or the style that Ground Zero have. That's my one sentence.
Yeah.
I didn't put any
Yeah.
full stops in
Yeah.
there. So
Yeah, I noticed. It was just one breath the whole time.
I'm not doomed on the Ground Zero. I think Ground Zero
Yeah.
can still be good. I
Yeah.
think they have really solid players. As long as they're like working together and like there's no like internal issues, I don't think you have to do anything crazy.
As we've got a question from the answering machine coming on in. Well, we got a question from Miro. Who do
Oh
you
fuck,
think?
not that guy.
Who do you think was the
Oh,
most
what is this dumb
impressive
question?
player this week?
Oh, okay, that's
the
actually a good question.
most. Yeah. The most
Arya.
impressive. Yeah. I wanted to say someone who won is all. The
Oh,
only, like
someone
I think he was.
won?
I think he was very impressive, but I wanted to kind of try and. Honestly, I might say Drakthar.
Yeah.
I might
Jack's
say.
good.
I agree with Arya, but I sort of want to choose someone who won their series. Is all.
Then I'll say Harky.
Yeah. That's
I
a
mean,
good shout.
I had really low expectations for him. I thought he'd be like the worst AD carry. Like I think he's one of the best right now. So my impression of his like through the roof, dude. I think that guy is so cracked.
No, that's fair. He is really good.
Dude, that guy does not speak any English, dude. That guy's full Vietnamese mode, dude. He's like rap god as he's like starts pentakilling people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'd have to go with Drakthar as well. I think, especially since coming into the year, I was definitely on the Drakthar hype train, and then he sort of fell off a cliff. But after that Shyvana game, I'm seeing the vision. I hope that they can keep up because Garm did make a run for MSI last. I doubt they can do it this time around. I still think they can at least be in Worlds contention.
I just think Drakthar has turned into quintessential Levy. The
Yeah.
Shyvana game's one thing, but the Nocturne being level 6 and ulting mid while
Yeah.
Husha's trying to gank it as a level 4 Vi is like, wait a
Oh, that
second,
was-
I've seen this one before.
And they missed
I've
the
seen
smite.
this, except it was bot last
And
time.
they
But
missed
like,
the smite
that's
fights
exactly what
because he
Levy did.
didn't have he didn't have his upgraded
yeah.
smite. It was only a 600
Yeah, but
still. I'm like,
I'm just talking about the mirroring of like
yeah,
Levy's career and now what Drakthar's done
Yeah.
so far. It's like, this is awfully coincidental being on the same org.
I mean, I love.
Hopefully
seeing
he
it.
doesn't get taken by NA because things go downhill after that. So
Yeah,
hey,
man,
let's keep that
That
guy in the
was-
LCP.
that was rough. I guess another thing I wanted to talk about before we head into the week schedule. This is less so Asia Pacific and more sort of League esports as a whole. But for those of you who weren't who aren't on the internet, there was a bit of a firestorm recently with regards to post streaming.
People like
and-
Kevin. Yeah.
People like
Me?
Kevin and there was a big firestorm. It started with
Oh,
that
I set it up,
FlyQuest
yeah.
video, and it sort of became a big thing, and with pretty much everyone weighing in. But I just wanted to get your thoughts on the whole situation. Obviously, we grain of salt, we are all co-streaming, but I think at least for me, I much prefer casting to co-streaming.
If I could be a cast, I would. I think it'd be
like
fun.
casting.
I'd be very bad at it, but I think casting is more fun than co-streaming. But I will say, okay, so dude, my timeline is full of this crap, dude. I'm
Me
so
too.
done with it.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that FlyQuest video, like, there were some good points until it became an ad. It's like, yo,
Yeah.
co-streamers are all dog shit. Yo, fuck Keijo, fuck Dom.
This is
Look at them,
grim.
they just make pog faces talking over the ads. But not our co-streamers. Look at this Valorant guy. Dude, he
Grim is
makes
sick.
videos on Valorant.
Yeah, and-
FlyQuest is where it's at. He's also does IRL. Check him out. Link
And then
here.
there's
I was like,
Basil.
the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
like- it's like-
Basil was just a fucking stupid artist. Now she's a great co-streamer. Watch her shit. It's like, damn, dude, what are we doing? It's like she drew fan art. I'm like, dude, why are we just talking shit about Basil, dude? And it's like co-streaming though. FlyQuest co-streamers are where it's at. It's like,
Yeah.
but it's like it says so many random shit. Like, oh, these people would spend millions of dollars bringing on a streamer, but then when they left, their fans would leave too. It's like, yeah, no shit, dude. Co-streamers weren't like, and back in the day, like you didn't hire like a streamer to advertise your team. It was just so your sponsors would get Twitch airtime because your pro players are too busy scrimming. They wouldn't stream as much. So you'd get some random like streamer guy to just have the
Logo
sponsored
in the
logos onto their
corner.
like stream. It wasn't so like, oh, because Vestion is like a streamer for Ground Zero. Now I'm gonna be a fan of Ground Zero. It was just like, okay, we have sponsor obligations. Vestion stream X amount of hours for our sponsors. It had nothing to do with the team. That FlyQuest video is so stupid, dude. And then people are so mad and saying like all these crazy shit about K-Drill and shocks. It made absolutely no sense, dude.
The
This thing
shocks
is
one
like,
is the
Yeah.
crazy part. Like that
essentially,
was
it was just
yeah.
ESL was like, hey, when we are posting ads on our stream, don't alt tab away. And it's like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Like, I get emails from like, what's it called, LCP saying like, hey, these are the rules.
Yeah.
When ads are on screen, don't cover the ads. Don't alt tab and do something else. Don't play Minecraft while you're watching League of Legends because it's a competition game. Like,
Mhm.
there's all these rules. I'm like, yeah, dude, that makes perfect sense. Like the thing is like Keijo apparently was like playing GeoGuessr or playing like Slay the Spire in between like games, and that was the problem because in
Yeah.
between the games is the ads, right? So like what I do is I fuck off, take a piss, take a shit, get food, whatever. But Keijo's playing Slay the Spire because you want to keep that engagement going, and that makes sense. But obviously it makes sense that hey, LEC's like hey, we have like 100,000 viewers not watching the ads. Like that's a problem. Like if you put the ads on the screen, right? Like obviously you don't know if people are watching or walking away, but that's like how an ad should be. But if you know Cage is alt tabbing, then you know 100% those ads are not being viewed. So that hurts sponsor sales, that like all this other stuff that keeps the broadcast going. So I don't understand why it turned into such a big negative deal about how co-streamers are killing things. Like co-streamers have good and bad points, but it's also important that you have to make it so companies that like ESL, right, can monetize those co-streamers to help the product, to help the teams keep the show going.
Yeah, like if we care about the longevity of this, we have to actually. I think my thing is, I want to see more from, and obviously I'm. It's all well and good us saying that as co-streamers who are doing more with this sort of thing, but especially for the LEC that with Euphoria going away, with a lot of these things being cut, I think it is people just want to see more from these streams. I think that there's definitely room for someone like Cadril to do more in that regard, and I do see that frustration. And it's just I don't agree that like just relentlessly just hating on, especially on someone like Shoggs, right? Answer, because Shoggs is like the backbone of honestly all of League Esports.
Yeah, Shox is the goat,
Yeah.
and she basically helped create LEC. Like LEC wouldn't be half as good as it is. I mean, it's not that good right now, but whatever. It's not half as good without Shox. Like when Shox is not there, you can tell that the broadcast is worse. Like whenever she's on like Counter Strike, some random Counter Strike tournament, I'm like, oh, it's Shox. Everyone's like, hey, I know it's gonna be fun. Like she just makes the product like
she
10
is
times
just
better.
insanely good at what she does.
Like
just
so, like when she brings up
blatantly.
like, hey, yeah, like these rules that ESL are bringing, oh, I think it's good, and people are like attacking her, like, dude, you can't like if Faker's the goat and you can't insult his plays, you can't insult Shox. Like this is the same level.
Yeah.
They're both the goats in their respective fields.
Agreed.
I'll have to see how it develops over the course of. I'm sure that we're going to see more come from this firestorm of drama in the coming weeks. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
I think
We got-
co-streaming can be good for the scene,
Yeah.
but I also think it can hurt, and obviously there should be rules in place, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I mean, like I'm not paying to like co-stream. I'm just sitting on my fat ass, my thumb on my butt, while other people do half the job for me.
Yeah.
So like, if they're like, hey, don't cover up ads or do this, do that, I'd be like, yeah, sure, why not, man? I mean, I could always just not do it if I don't like the rules.
Yeah.
But whatever rules, like, because I co-stream a lot of leagues and they all have like similar rules, like, hey, during like ad segments, don't look away. It's like, yeah, okay, I can do that. Like, it's not a big deal for me.
I think the genie's out of the bottle with co-streaming. I think like it's too big now that you can't get rid of.
Oh yeah, that's obvious.
Yeah.
That goes without saying, I think.
As we head into our next little part of things, we got another question from Miro this time around, again in the answering machine. Kevin's not getting a break. Regardless of placements, who between DCG and Hawks are we more confident as the LCP representative at?
I'm more confident about DCG, but Hawks has been improving a lot.
I think I agree. I think ultimately, like,
But I'm still like,
SHG for
I
me,
still think
they
it's TCG.
just always feel like, okay, we are on the verge of going back to what we were like in last year. You know, like things haven't changed that drastically with the roster to the point where it's like, okay, they are just definitely always going to be better. You know, I think Vista is very good, and he's like a definite upgrade on Gang. Or no, who was last year? Last split, sorry. Was it Harp? Anyway,
No, it was
whoever it
Gang.
was. Oh, it was Gang. Yeah, okay. And it's like that's definitely an upgrade. Like, there's no argument there. And like obviously, introducing Arya at the start of the year was always going to be a massive upgrade as well. But it's like, is it so much of an upgrade where there's no potential of being sort of that 7th place SHG again? Because ultimately the core is still relatively the same in many ways, right? Like, okay, they don't have was it fire? Anyway, they don't have their jungler. Forgot his name now. What is it? Anyway, they don't have their jungler, but they still have Evie and Marble. And I think like Evie last year in his solo lanes was just getting absolutely dominated, like absolutely destroyed. And I think that, I mean, there's no reason why that couldn't start happening again, right? Like top lane, I think, has arguably improved between last year and this year. I think maybe like Driver not being here maybe makes it a little less so, but I think ultimately it's improved with like Yijiang coming in. And so it's like, okay, Evie could once again sort of be that second to last top laner in terms of skill. And if that happens, then I wouldn't have any hope in them. And that's why like I give it to DCG. And saying that though, Florin has a similar issue. He's just better at team fighting consistently, I guess, than Evie is, just based on last year, really.
Kevin.
I think Evie is really, really good right now. I do think Marvel's improved a lot. I think having not Gang as your support made Marvel play better. I mean, Arya joining the team is also pretty insane. Like,
Yeah.
what, they had fucking Fate last year? Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck are we
What was that
talking
mid
about,
jungler
dude?
do? It
Like,
was Fake Courage Johan or something?
yeah,
That was Courage.
Johan,
That was who it was,
Courage
yeah.
and Johan. Like, I mean, I don't think Van is that great, but the thing is, like, I thought Van and Vista kind of sucked, but they speak Japanese, so they're able to all communicate in one language, which helps a lot. Like, nobody's learning like Japanese to communicate. I mean, they are obviously they are, but
Except
they
the
don't need to
coaches.
like. I guess the coaches, but Mara's Japanese is actually pretty good, but he speaks Korean.
Yeah,
So
true.
you can talk to the Korean players, and the Korean players can talk to Japanese players. When the Japanese players talk to the Koreans, they can talk to Maru, who can then talk to Corgi. So we have this like
This is
telephone game going
vendetta.
on.
This is Venn
But
diagram
somehow
of
it's
who can
working.
speak
It's
to each
actually
other.
working really well. Like they
Yeah.
actually are like playing macro well. It's just that every once in a while they'll have some weird moments, but I think that as long as everyone keeps playing to their level, I think maybe SoftBank could be the second best team. Maybe.
You just have a vendetta against Van because he dropped 10 kills on your head in the Lee Sin game.
Dude, I mean, if you're talking about that one series, didn't everyone just take a shit on
Well,
CFO?
he had, oh yeah. I mean, it was
There's all
seven,
five of
player
their
did not
players.
drop
7
10
kills
on us?
Jarvan, 10 kills Lee Sin.
No, I think Van's Lee Sin is legit, but I don't rate the other champs that highly, but I think he
Yeah.
is the best Lee Sin in the league. Like, I'll give him credit to that.
Which
I
is
think
weird,
like
'cause
Pop
Lee
9
Sin
plays a
isn't
lot of it, but
really-
doesn't look that great. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Lee
makes
Sin's-
sense. He is Korean.
yeah.
Korean
feel
Lee
like-
Sin hits different, dude.
The meta's really weird at the moment for junglers, I feel like, because it's pretty much all just Conqueror champions. And so when you get really deep into those like 5-game series in playoffs, you kind of just have to pull out. I mean,
This brother's saying it's weird that the meta's the same for the entire last 2 years.
no, I know. It's a little bit boring. I'm going to be honest. I miss the Zyras. I miss the Kindreds.
Bro
I miss
just called it weird that we're seeing the same 6 champs in the
No, but
jungle for
what I
the
was gonna
second
say,
year in a row.
what I was gonna say is that like the Lee Sin is being
What do
picked
you-
this early.
there's not a
That's
lot
what's
of different
weird
junglers.
compared to.
Well, that's because Jarvan's being picked.
Yeah,
Lee
true.
Sin's really good into champs like Jarvan, so it's like, okay, you see a Jarvan, and like, against CFO it was Skarner. It's like Lee Sin's good against Skarner because of the mobility. So it's like, yeah, you're gonna see Lee Sin. It's just a really good champ into that. Like, instead of being Pantheon who W's on someone and gets Skarner altered and died, you get a Lee Sin who can jump on someone and get out.
I guess I'm just so used to seeing because like last split especially, we saw more of the Nefir into Jarvan. So it's. I mean, like, yeah, I didn't really watch too much of the LCP last year, because busy with work. The time wasn't that great overall. The 2 p.m. start time, so I didn't really get to see too much in the way of those games, and seeing Lee Sin back after what feels like a long time of him sort of relegated to the sidelines and being
I don't
picked
know if
up
Ethan's
this.
back though. It's like still a niche
Yeah, that's
pick
what I
that
mean. Yeah, I
some
think it.
players are very, very good on.
Yeah,
Like most
especially
of the
when you
time, you're
compare
gonna
it
see
to.
like Nocturne, Pantheon, Vi, Jarvan, and Zhao, those kinds of things. Then you might see like Wukong or like a tank like Skarner, Sejuani, Maokai. Well, maybe not Maokai is not a tank, but you get the point. It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it can be a
Like
tank, but is
yeah, it
more
can, but
played
most of the time you're
AP.
building AP poke
Yeah.
shit. But yeah, like Lee Sin is still a niche pick, but I mean like it's changed quite a bit. We saw Zyra jungle last year, but we don't really see Zyra anymore. Like Skarner was
Yeah,
really popular, Sejuani.
but Zyra, I think, is because we had Junja, and he was like really good at Zyra. And Guri still will pick Zyra, I guarantee. If we get to like a third game, he's not going to be afraid because it was only those two that picked it, Guri and Junja. But like you remember, bro,
Yeah, maybe.
you remember on PSG when it was AP junglers, and it was like, okay, if you're against PSG, you've just lost because Junja is 30 times better than anyone else on these AP champs. You know,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
had like a thing for like the quickest clear time. They had like they were keeping track of it, and Junja was like first, second, and third. It was just like, oh, well, it's just like whatever, man. What are we fucking doing here?
Yeah, Jinja's jungle clearing is actually pretty insane.
I miss
Yeah.
it. Wasting away in.
Oh, I do
He's
too.
not. He's doing well in.
I mean, they're still doing well. Yeah.
Yeah, they just beat
I
Wago,
miss him
right?
too.
Hopefully we'll see him back in the LCP. Like Doggo, right? You have your small stint in the LPL, and then you come back and you suddenly want. I mean, in Junja's case, you already.
I mean, we all have to go for that side fling every once in a while, you know. But you can
Yeah.
always come home to your lovable, reliable wife,
Yeah.
making you beef stew with your kids. But hey, if you're on a business trip, you know, you gotta have a side piece.
Damn.
Crazy.
Damn. That's words of wisdom from CFO.
Whoa! What the fuck?
That's the official mandate of CTBC Flying Oysters, as presented by Kevin.
By their spokesperson.
Yeah. Looking
Yeah, you
ahead.
should always listen to me for dating
official
advice.
media man.
Yeah.
I've played over 300 dating simulators. I know my stuff.
Yeah, nice.
How's it translated?
What? I could do either.
No, I mean, how's it translated to real life as well?
Oh, very good.
Oh, yeah.
I think. we talked to a lady the other day. I think I did okay.
You did well.
picked the right
I was
choices.
proud of you. I was proud of you.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
No, that was...
I'm pretty sure I picked the right options every time.
Yeah,
You did.
The dialogue tree is just...
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
they never. It was never like there was never one of those like cutscenes where you've just completely fucked up and they're like storming off. So like it must have been alright.
True.
True.
I don't think she's ever said like "Nani" and just slapped me across the face and walked away.
Yeah.
That's the bad ending. You don't want that.
All right. What else is there to talk about?
I was gonna say,
move along from this.
As we head into week 4, the schedule. We talked a bit about some of the things briefly, but obviously starting things off, DFM Garm. I imagine probably going to be a 2-0.
Yeah,
I think
well,
especially
Garm
the
2 on. Let's go next.
The pace
Next
that
question, please.
Draktar's on. I think it's a. And then
It
Team
doesn't matter
Sigur's
about
GZ.
Draktar.
Dude, why are we still talking about it? We've already spent too much time next.
Well,
yeah,
we're
gonna
gonna
speed up
things
things
Until
out,
out,
Momo
please.
fucking perform better, I don't want to talk about the FF.
you have to be somewhere, or
No, it's just move on. Team Secret Wales Ground 0 2-0. All right, next one.
all right. Hawks versus DCG to start off Sunday.
That's a 3-gamer. That's a 3-gamer. Like on Gromp, that's a 3-gamer. I think I still give it to DCG. Ultimately, I think SHG have been impressive, but they've still been a little sloppy, and they've still had moments where their like team fighting hasn't, or their skirmishing, I should say, hasn't looked that crisp, right? Like that's how they lost to Team Secret Wales. And DCG are like very Team Secret Wales pilled, and they are just going to fight you, and that is a lot of the time how they win the game. They're not as good as Team Secret Wales at it, but they're still better than everyone else, which is why I think I have them second. So I think it's a 3-gamer. I think DCG do take it, though.
Kevin?
Yeah.
DCG 2
I think DCG is the favorites, but I mean, if SHG is ever gonna like win, they would have to win against DCG to show us that it can be good. I just think Florin is also a really, really good top laner. Like Evie's been performing well, but I think Florin is like better than Ejong.
I think his laning isn't, though, which is the one thing Evie also was kind of weak at. So like I think Florin and Evie are very similar in terms of like They're both good team fighters, both not that good laners, which could make it interesting.
Actually,
'Cause it
DCG and SCG are kind of similar. Like Flora and
They
Hungster are
are.
really good. Evie, Arya are really good. We always are like, Pop 9. I sometimes say, Van.
Yeah, no,
But like
actual
Funk
too.
Chelsea has like good moments, like Marvel and Vista has some good moments, but Vista and Chelsea can both run it down. Like, you don't want to see Chelsea's Nico.
What?
But you
like
do want to see
Chelsea run it
Chelsea's
down?
Blitzcrank. Yeah, he does. Yeah, absolutely. It's so passionate.
Yeah.
Him and Pop 9, they're the local griefers. So same as Fung, if you remember the game Ground Zero won against them. Fung
Corky
just
game.
Fung just sending it into our fountain. Respect.
Yeah.
I hope we
So
get a
like
good.
they're both kind of similar now that I think about it a
They
bit
are.
more.
I'm not about the
I think the biggest
Yeah.
difference is Marble and Fung. Fung's much more likely to lose you the game,
Yeah.
but Marble was like he's very sturdy.
I mean, I think Marvel in the past would lose you the game by not playing the game.
No, actually,
Yeah.
so true. That is one thing he's improved at a lot. Is in the past,
Yeah, there's
bro,
not
you just
many
see
like
this
KDA
brother's
Marvel
just
games.
AFK in team fights, like actual just like wake up, you're in game. And he's just like sitting there like strolling
No,
around,
he was
bro.
basically
Everyone's
the opposite of Japan, where like KD in trouble, get the fuck out, flash away,
Yeah.
abandon all teammates, must protect KDA. Like this year, I don't think he's ever like there might have been like one or two games where Marvel played like that, but I've not. It's
Nah,
never
he's
been
been
like
passionate.
glaringly noticed.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like
Where in the
last year,
past-
like
yeah,
I would just notice like, wait, where the fuck is Marvel in all of this? And he's just like already just like recalling, running away. He already flashed at the wall the moment someone got killed. Like he's out of there, dude. Like the minute something doesn't look good, he was gone.
stuff
Like
to the-
this year, I haven't noticed that, so that's a huge improvement. It's like
I
he's
think
no
that's the
longer a KDA
series.
player.
that's the series of the week though. Is SHG DCG? I think yeah.
Probably, yeah.
that
I
determines
mean,
a lot in terms of playoffs.
some of the top teams playing.
Because all the PCS teams are currently 1 and 2 across the board.
Yeah, peace. Oh.
Yeah. Except GZ's.
So like this weekend,
but
it's time for
it's-
PCS to rise.
You
Ground
gotta,
Zero 2-1 soft or Seeker Wales, DCG 2-1 SoftBank, CFO 2-0 the Vikings.
CFO
Lock it
2-0
in.
MVK. Is that what you're saying?
Of course, dude. PCS is winning.
Okay. Okay, we'll have to see. We'll have to see whether you Ben.
Wait a
you
minute.
Don't look, you
Moshi Moshi, do you hear that? It's PCS time.
I think
saying-
I think
Saying
I
something
think
in
DCG
Japanese
win.
to then say that the PCS is gonna win is crazy.
I think DCG win. I think Ground Zero and CFO lose. Unfortunately, I mean I don't know. Honestly though, like a CFO could be a lot better, and they could randomly come in and 2-0 MVK. I don't actually know. All I can go off is like, okay, they looked better against DCG, but they didn't look good, right? And so it's like, okay, I think MVK probably do take the win, but again, who knows? Who knows? CFO could be a lot better than sort of what their week 1 together looked like, so they could win, and it wouldn't be terribly surprising, right? They still have great players like Rest and Doggo, so it's like, okay, it's winnable, but like, I wouldn't come in expecting it.
I think we get 6 games on Sunday. I think I'm probably gonna say MVK 2-1. But it will be close. It will be close. I think that Out really has a lot of potential. And he can definitely make something happen. I'm confident.
All right.
I
Good.
guess to wrap
work.
things up, were there any other topics that we hadn't discussed or any exclamations that we wanted to make heading into the week?
Not really. I think it's just mainly like I'm excited to sort of see how things go. I think this weekend has a lot of sort of games that I expect to go one way, but I do also think maybe the most exciting matchup we have is SHG versus DCG, and so we do get to see that this weekend, which is quite cool. But other than that, it's kind of like probably a straightforward weekend of what you'd expect. Probably a reasonably quick weekend. But still, it's like big sort of what is it? What's the word? Big impact on playoff standings and whatnot if there's upsets happening. So it is always going to be exciting.
Yeah, I hope so. My prediction rate this week has been really bad. I thought Ground Zero would be GAM. I thought DFM would be Vikings, and I thought CFO would be DCG. Whoops.
Yeah, you were just
It
completely
is what it is,
wrong.
man.
Oh my.
It is what it is.
Yeah. I guess before we close things out, PCS junglers, you better change your smite keys. You better fix something because it's looking rough. I don't want to see this going into MSI. You need to fix things up. That's for sure. But thank you all for tuning in. One outro once again. We're going to stick to it again. Thank you, everyone.
One?
Have a good night.
Thank you guys.